Shalom Saints, this is Jerron127 coming back with another video. In today's video, I was basically just going to be talking about some information that was screenshotted to me. It was a series of emails. I'm not too sure of the overall source or validity of these emails, but again, I just wanted to put it out there in the universe, just so we can talk about it. Anybody that has any other information, better information, you can comment, DM me personally, make a video in response to this video. That way we can try to connect the dots. And again, I will be fact checking this information myself, just in case I happen to come across any actual claims of any of this. So without further ado, we're going to be going into it right now. And just a quick summary of what these emails entail is basically talking about some more lockdowns that's on the horizon. Not only a second lockdown, but a third lockdown, as well as a surge in COVID cases to happen, in this final quarter of the year, um, end of November, early December, January, as well as talking about a new strain of COVID that they're going to dub COVID-21. And it's also going to talk about the fallout from, the coronavirus, and talking about the lockdowns with the states and cities and things of that nature, on top of the repercussions for anybody who don't get these vaccines. In regards to the presumed results from the recent election, um, you got a lot of different point of views. You have a lot of people out here who they are simply carnal in their way of thinking, and they're not looking at it from a spiritual POV. You know what I mean? So you got people they out here, it's as if the Wicked Witch of the West or the Wicked Witch of the East died, and everybody's coming out of the cracks to celebrate in the streets. But what are the repercussions of things such as this? So we really have to pay close attention and look at things like this and try to understand what's really going on. So with that being said, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that actually. So from a lot of the testimonies, actually even before that, when President Trump, when he won the first time, I knew almost instantly that he was going to have a second term. This is something that I said to myself about 4 years ago when he obviously won the first time. And, I saw him having a second term. And this is something I just said, on my own volition. And, fast forward to 2020, I saw him winning again. And, I knew obviously the race would be a lot closer and that it'll be a lot of controversy, but I did see him actually winning again. With that being said, tell me why all of the, so-called prophets and other kind of people, spiritual based people, some of you may know who they are, some may not. They've all mentioned President Trump as being that guy that the Most High has chosen to uphold a position, to carry out a specific type of mission that only somebody like him can do. And, we all know how, President Trump is. He's a, you know, pretty rude, boisterous, inconsiderate guy for the most part. Or at least that's what they perceive to us on TV. Um, a lot of times people ask me, well, how do you feel about President Trump? And I always say, well, I don't know the man personally to know how he truly is. I only know based on what the TV shows me. And I said, at any rate, everybody, we all say things and do things that we're not proud of. We all got skeletons in the closet at the end of the day. So I'm like, it is what it is. I'm like, you guys make it seem like the other side is, they're saints, like they have done nothing wrong. When has that ever been? As long as I've been alive, politicians have always been more or less the same, all crooked, all do, they all do things at an angle, so to speak. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, still live here. Illinois is traditionally a blue state, from my understanding. And a point to be made is that of all the different mayors and different politicians we've had to run this city, to run this state, almost all of them have been crooked. And that's no cap. Literally almost all of them have been crooked. It didn't matter what party they was from, Democratic, Republican. It didn't matter what color, white, black, um, Indian, or whatever Rahm Emanuel is, Hispanic. It didn't matter. They all came at an angle for the most part, and they were all crooked to some degree. Um, and this is just talking about the high profile ones. Obviously, there are obviously honest people, in politics, just like there's honest people in everything. But, whenever you have a batch of anything, you only need just one bad one to ruin the whole batch. And that's my point. So, with that being said, I got a couple of videos that I wanted to talk about in regards to just the prophecy on President Trump and how and what's going on spiritually, not carnally, not what we see with our eyes. Not everything that look good is good for us, obviously. You know, the most obvious candidate is not always the correct one. So in conjunction with that, the most startling thing, and again, this is all coming from or projected to be from Canada, some email from Canada. Again, like I told you guys before, I don't know how official this is. But it was just some information that was passed down to me, and I'm just putting it out there. So again, I'm gonna fact check this, but I just wanted to put it out there. Anybody who has any more information, any more knowledge, please, comment, post, whatever it is here if you would like. So again, the most startling thing about all of this is what they're going to be doing in regards to the fallout of, these new corona strains and vaccines, anybody who refuses it. So they're saying deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas as well as major roadways to establish travel checkpoints, restrict travel and movement, provide logistical support to the area. And they're saying Q3 2021. Along with the provided roadmap, the Strategic Planning Committee was asked to design an effective way of transitioning Canadians to meet an unprecedented economic endeavor, one that would change the face of Canada and forever alter the lives of Canadians. Again, you know, just putting that out there. I don't know how official this source is, and from what these emails say, is saying other countries have a pretty similar plan to what is in this email. And it says basically this is how it works. Federal government will offer to eliminate all personal debts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, etc., which all funding will be provided to Canada by IMF under what will become known as the World Debt Reset Program. In exchange for acceptance of this total debt forgiveness, this individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. The individual also have to agree to partake in a COVID-19, COVID-21 vaccination schedule, which would provide the individual with unrestricted travel, unrestricted living, even under a full lockdown. And this is through the use of photo identification, referred to as Canada's Health Pass. And obviously, if, say for instance, Canada has this, I'm pretty sure United States will have something like this. or something similar as well, if it is indeed, you know, going to take place, or if this email has any credibility to it. As committee members asked who would become the owner of the forfeited property and assets in that scenario, and what would happen to lenders or financial institutions, were simply told the World Debt Reset Program would handle all of the details. Several committee members also questioned what would happen to individuals if they refused to participate in the World Debt Reset Program or the Health Pass or the vaccination schedule, and the answer was troubling. Essentially, we were told it was our duty to make sure we came up with a plan and ensure that would never happen. We were told it was in the individual's best interest to participate. When several committee members pushed relentlessly to get an answer, we were told that those who refused would first live under the lockdown restrictions indefinitely, and that over a short period of time, as more Canadians transition into the debt forgiveness program, the ones who refuse to participate would be deemed a public safety risk and be relocated into isolation. All right, lost my spot a little bit here. Once in those facilities, they will be given two options: participate in the debt forgiveness program and be released, or stay indefinitely in the isolation facility under the classification of a serious public health risk and have all their assets seized anyway. So, as you can imagine, after hearing all this, it turned into quite the heated discussion. And it says, in the end, it was implied that the PMO, that the whole agenda would move forward no matter who agrees with it or not. And it states that it won't just be Canada, but in fact, all nations will have similar roadmaps and agendas, and that we need to take advantage of the situations before us to promote change on the grander scale for the betterment of everyone. And that's pretty much the entire email. And this was as of October 14th, 2020. And again, just as a last little notation, I'm not too sure the credibility of any of this information. I just kind of read to you guys, but um, I was just passed down the information and I'm just putting it out there. I'm gonna do research on my end to figure out whether or not it has any credibility, and anybody else who has any information on any of this uh, information, comment or DM, whatever the case may be, and we can get to the bottom of it. But just putting it out there again.